Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, here is the end result of that Marx 999 that arrived today. $7 with the original tender. I've replaced the wheel and the push rod, lubed it, tuned it, painted it with oil, and as you see, it's 1,000% improvement over what it was. This thing was $7 on eBay. Now by tomorrow, this oil will have penetrated this paint, and you just wipe off any excess, and it really rejuvenates the paint. And as you notice, all the oxide that was showing is almost gone. It's a good black color again, and of course it's running well. So I've got it running. I got the E-unit working. Oh, turn the power on. So I got the E-unit working perfectly, as you see. And it just runs splendidly. So anyway, the only drawback to it was the tender itself. Now the tender is an old original tin litho, and it has the early tilt. You see, I've coated this with oil to break down this oxide. And these early steel tilt couplers will not couple with anything else. They won't couple with tab and slot. They won't couple with knuckle. The plastic tilt have a slot in them, so you can use them with tab and slot. But a good trick to know, of course, is if you have two of them, which I just happen to, you can actually couple one of them backwards. So you couple these two tenders together with the tilt coupler, which puts a tab and slot on the other end. So let's couple this. And we should be ready to go. There's 14 cars on this consist, all tin litho. So Marx 999, this has been here, I don't know, 3 hours now, I think, something like that. It's lube tuned, it's running absolutely perfectly. The E-unit is working. I've replaced the wheel and the push rod and the headlight. So let's take this around, pulling 14 cars. As you see, and that's 50% power, and this engine is just flying. So it's running absolutely perfectly. Let's slow this down. Let it run at a good moderate pace around and see how this does. So as you see, it's running really well. It looks nice, it runs perfectly. E-unit works, came with an 8-wheel tender, and it was $7. So really hard to beat that. So the only thing I've really done to it is replace the wheel and the push rod. Everything else was basically just lubing, tuning, and cleaning. This thing has sat unrun for years and years and years, and it was just in absolutely dreadful condition. But as you see, with only a few minutes work, this engine looks good. Like I said, by tomorrow this oil will have penetrated the paint. You can just wipe off the excess and you'll have a nice black locomotive again. Same with the tender, but as far as repairing this, it took 10 minutes. I pulled the wheel off and replaced it with a new wheel and a push rod. Everything else was really basic stuff, just lubing and tuning and getting all the oxide broken loose and getting this engine running again. This thing has sat for decades. Anyway, it's up and running. It runs forward and reverse with no problem at all. Pulling 14 tin litho cars. And it just runs splendidly. And the nice thing about this is the longer you run it, the better it will run. It's already running 1,000% better than it did when it arrived, obviously. So as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. This was $7 and, I don't know, an hour of my time, if that. Most of it was basically just cleaning it up. Getting it lubed and getting things broken loose. It had been sitting for a very, very long time. And as for the price, you just can't beat it. An original Marx 999 with its original tin litho 8-wheel tender. $7. on eBay. And so as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. You can get into this on an absolute shoestring, and all it takes is a bit of know-how, some parts, and a 4-inch screwdriver. I mean, that's really it. And you can get these things running. And even if you couldn't get it running, $7. You've got more than $7 worth of parts here. And out of the parts from one of these locomotives, you can fix 5 or 6 others. Sometimes more than that, depending on what the other ones need. But it's a great way to get a collection of parts really quickly at a really decent price. So anyway, I just wanted to do a follow-up video on this. I'm going to be running this the rest of the day, obviously. And just putting it through its paces and getting it used to running again. But I just wanted to do a follow-up video on this. Marx 999 for $7 with its original tin litho tender, pulling 14 cars and running just absolutely perfectly. So don't overlook the junk. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.